Hi friends, welcome you all. Today we are going to discuss the types of credit facilities provided by NBFCs. In the last lecture, we have studied the FDI in the NBFC sectors and the related provisions and concepts. Today we are going to discuss the types of credit facilities and services and the products offered by the NBFCs. So, what are the credit and services provided by the NBFCs? NBFC offers a range of products and services which includes loan and advances, then credit facilities, saving and investment plans, acquisitions of shares, stocks, bonds, hire purchase and insurance business or cheat business and money transfer services. It also includes private education funding, retirement planning, underwriting stocks and shares, trading in money markets, then term finance certificate and other obligations. Apart from these, NBFCs also provide wealth management services such as handling portfolios of stocks and shares and discounting services, etc. So these are the in a nutshell the services provided by NBFCs. The different services are there: car loans, then hire and purchase, then mortgage loans, fast credit, etc. So here is the major products offered by the NBFCs. Here is the list of products and services offered by NBFCs in India. Funding for commercial vehicles, it is loan, particularly credit facilities, particularly provided to purchase or to buy the commercial vehicles, not for personal use but the commercial use, which will bring the revenue or the profit for that owner. So funding for commercial vehicle is the one products offered by the NBFC. Then funding for infrastructure asset, to create the infrastructure for a business or for the purpose of the um, operation or factory of the business. So infrastructure funding is the product offered by the NBFC. Then retail financing means the to a small borrowers are there, and loans, retail loans provided for the small borrowers and for the individual, not in a bulky amount. Then a loan against shares, with the security of shares and other stock market products such as ETF, exchange traded mutual fund, then debentures, shares. So the loans is provided against shares and such securities. Then funding for plant and machinery, project finance, unsecured personal loans. Without security, personal loan is provided mostly through the credit cards. Then trade finance, the finance for the import and export and domestic trade also. Venture finance is the finance for investing in the those areas who have prospects and the business opportunities in the coming time period. So it is called venture finance. Construction equipments, commercial vehicles and cars, then gold loans, microfinance. Microfinance is up to the 1,50,000 to the small borrowers. Consumer durables and two wheelers, here the consumer needs is fulfilled. Consumer durables means uh, the cars, vehicles, the domestically housing equipment such as fridge, TV, and all other consumer durables goods. Then loan against shares, we have discussed this. Then small and medium enterprises financing, financing of specialized equipment, then operating lease of cars, etc. Then types of the instrument generally executed, loans, hire purchase, financial lease and operating lease. So these are the major products and services offered by the NBFCs. NBFC and a revolving personal line of credit. So personal loans by NBFCs are mostly extended as a revolving line of credit through the use of online apps. The lender would be happy if there were no regulatory obstacles to provide this line of credit by way of a credit card or even a virtual credit card, but there are regulatory barriers to NBFCs issuing credit cards. So there are Reserve Bank of India's regulatory obstacles are there to issuing credit cards. Therefore, NBFC is ending up giving a revolving line of credit. However, the issue is whether or not a revolving line of credit is an alternative to a card or virtual card. And if yes, then are there regulatory issues in NBFC giving personal revolving line of credit? The master direction of RBI recognize extending a line of credit by expressly providing for a prudential framework for a special mention account classification for a revolving line of credit. So the issue is not whether the credit is personal or for business purposes such as working capital line of credit. There is a general notion that NBFCs cannot extend working capital line of credit while they may give working capital loans. So it is important to examine this issue at length. So what is a revolving line of credit? A revolving line of credit is a mode of lending wherein the lender agrees to lend an amount equal to or less than a predetermined credit limit as if approved for the borrower. The parameters for fixing the limit may be the credit appraisal of the borrower or, as in case of working capital, the asset liability gap. The borrower may continue to use the line of credit. He may keep repaying, in which case the drawn amount comes down, and then he may redraw when the drawn amount goes up. The credit limit gets restored on repayment being made by the borrower. Such a line of credit may be secured or unsecured. So depending on the agreement between the lender and the borrower. The line of credit is essentially governed by the agreement between the two parties. The term revolving does not imply that the line of credit is not subject to a review or repayment. Each line of credit has a review period. For a certain types of facilities, a revolving line of credit is aptly suitable. While in case of businesses, working capital is the best finance by a line of credit. In case of personal finance also, the ability to draw on the basis of line of credit extends the finances of the borrower and allows him the flexibility to tap into the funds when needed and pay it off when not needed. So there is of course a standing committee on the part of the lender to provide the facility amount of the limit, for which lender may charge a continuing commitment charge. So a line of credit implies a commitment to disburse or provide the loan to the extent of the amount already disbursed. There is a funded facility. To the extent of the limit sanctioned but not yet availed, there is an unfunded commitment to disburse. Undisbursed or partly disbursed loan are common in case of term loans as well as for example, a home loan may take a long time to get disbursed. So what are the similarities between a credit card and revolving line of credit? A credit card is a payment card which the borrower may use for making payment at the point of sale, that is POS. The lender makes payment on behalf of the borrower and then recovers the same from the borrower. Uh, a revolving line of credit shares some of its features with a credit card, due to which they are seen as equivalent. The similarities between both these are mentioned here. Borrowers can take the disbursement as and when needed. The lender in both cases always reserves the right to reduce the credit limit. The lender has to maintain optimum amount of working capital to meet the disbursement demand of the borrowers. The credit limit is restored on payment being made. So based on the usual practices of the market, the following are the dissimilarities or disparity between credit card and revolving line of credit. First is security. A revolving line of credit may be secured or unsecured, whereas credit card is always unsecured. End use restriction. There are no restrictions on end use of funds in case of credit card. However, in a line of credit, the end use is restricted by the purpose mentioned in the loan agreement for availing the loan. So, of course, the purpose by may be generic, for example, personal use or general business use. Restrictions on the withdrawal of fund. A revolving line of credit does not require a purchase to be made in order to get the funds disbursed. It allows money to be transferred into bank account for any reason without requiring an actual transactions. Whereas in the case of a credit card, payment can be made at POS machine, that is only, and thus it requires an actual transaction for the disbursement to be made. So these are the restrictions to withdraw of fund. Then these are the title is wrong. This is the continue with the disparity between the credit card and revolving line of credit. Interest period. In case of a credit card, if repayment is made within a specified term, no interest is usually charged. However, after the specified period, a high rate of interest is charged. On the other hand, in case of a revolving line of credit, the interest is calculated from the day of disbursement, being made at a comparatively lower rate. Then credit limit. As market practice, a revolving line of credit may be availed for business purposes or personal purposes and thus has higher credit limit as compared to the credit card, which is generally used for personal purposes only. Manner of repayment. In case of credit card, fund once availed have to be repaid within a specified period of time in lump sum. On the other hand, when credit card is availed from a revolving line of credit, the same is repaid by the borrower in installments. So risk. Credit card come with the risk of theft, misuse. However, the same may be done away in case of virtual credit card. Why does one prefer NBFC or banks for the credit? NBFC provide all types of financial services similar to the bank with two major differences. They do not hold a banking license and they cannot accept monetary deposit from individual customers. So NBFC are recognized as a complementary to the banking sector. As a result of the implementation of innovative marketing strategies, the introduction of tailor-made products, customer-oriented services, attractive rates of return on the deposits, and simplified procedures, etc. So in the past few years, the increased competition from banks in retail finance segment has led to excess diversification by NBFCs from their core business activities. So the NBFC has introduced various innovative products such as IPO financing to issue the new shares, three-wheeler financing, then vehicle financing, small personal loans, finance for tires and fuel, asset management, mutual fund distribution, and insurance advisory, etc. So wide products are offered by the NBFCs compared to the banking banks. Moreover, NBFCs are aspiring to emerge as a one-stop shop for all financial services with compared to the banks. In recent years, NBFCs have begun to create niches for themselves which are often neglected by the banks. These mainly include providing finance to non-salaried individuals, traders, transporters, stockbrokers, etc. So NBFCs have also offered into riskier segment such as unsecured loan, purchase finance for used commercial vehicles, capital market lending, etc. NBFC customers profile is concentrated on the self-employment segment. The borrower prefer NBFC over banks, and the reason for this is bank have hard rules and requires more time to approve or sanction a loan. On the other hand, NBFC ensures the processing is quicker and necessary. Loan amount is disbursed within a day. The rate of interest imposed by NBFC is high as compared to banks. Borrowers still prefer to take loans from the NBFCs, considering the ease of getting a loan and fewer complications. So these are the points which are the reasons to one prefer NBFCs than banks. So so friends, that much in this today's lecture. Thank you for listening. Write your name in the comment box. See you in the next lecture.